So first, we're looking for that whole family framework where programs and services are supporting both the child and the parent. And then within that context, we're looking for person-centered, where parents and caretakers are authentically engaged, and where they not only have voice, but they're regarded as drivers to improve designs of services. We're also looking for programs that are services that are data-driven, and really informing how to improve upon or how to stop doing a thing or start doing something. And then we also are focused on those services that are really about outcomes, and really outcomes, not outputs, that make a difference in helping families move forward. And at Kresge, for us in human services, that's around advancing and accelerating social and economic mobility. The other thing that we are also interested in is the extent to which those efforts are having an impact on the sector itself and the system, and the degree to which there is uptake. The work that we did in Tennessee was especially humbling. We had the opportunity to work with staff inside the organizations, families across the state, as well as community partners and other department leaders and their teams in Tennessee. It was really transformative, like moving from transactional to transformational. And there's so many things that we did. I could talk about that for a long time, but it took us really taking a hard look at ourselves as a department and figuring out how could we both make sure that we were running the programs in the way that they were intended to be run and from a regulatory perspective. But then moving past that to really being about people and the outcomes and being generative in the ways that the staff wanted in the first place. When you come to a bureaucracy, you'll find that you're driven toward that compliance piece. And so we had to figure out how to create the space for staff to be able to do that. And then there was uptake across the governor's cabinet. It was highly consistent with his dreams and vision was for the state. And so that was a very positive experience. And so how that has served me and my work at Kresge, who was already supporting this kind of work across the country, in particular the Human Services Program, is that having done the work in the government, having done the work in nonprofit, and I'm a practitioner, I think I have a unique perspective. I've learned a lot, I'm better for it. And so what I mean by unique is really understanding the full application from a field perspective. And being in the field, it's easier to say a thing than to do a thing. It's easier to write about how to make a system better than it is to make a system better, to actually do it. And so that's been very helpful, I think, to me in my work in philanthropy, and being able, like when you look at proposals or when you go and meet with community-based organizations, it helps you to have a greater appreciation for the challenges that they face. And then I think it puts us in philanthropy in a really unique position to help fund and empower these community-based organizations and others to be able to execute on things that are by no means easy, and we can better understand it when we review some of those opportunities out there. Well, they're clearly different because we have different governing bodies, right? So being in the public sector, you're accountable. I used to see the state of Tennessee as my board of directors, if you put it in perspective. So you're accountable in so many ways, and they're different. It's more, government is simply more regulative. And philanthropy, in my view, is the opposite of that. And so philanthropy is where innovation occurs. And I think it's possible in government. And I know it is because I was in government, and it's a number of people across the country that are being innovative inside of government. Government just today isn't wired toward innovation. So I think that's really important. I think there's an ample opportunity for government and philanthropy to partner. So philanthropy helps to fuel innovation, and then government can take that up. So often there are not enough resources, or I should not say it that way, but resources are not often allocated to innovation in government in the ways that they need to be. And in fact, innovation in government is more often an exception, that you have to get permission to innovate or to have a waiver. I will tell you, that you can't, we found our way when I was in Tennessee to find the right leaders at the federal level who are willing to take what was perceived risk to make things work for kids and families and communities around the state of Tennessee. And so at Kresge, we have so many examples across the entire foundation, quite frankly, where we've seen solutions at the community level and at state levels that are working across the country. So I think that philanthropy has a role, and it is not the role that government plays, but our intent is to be helpful and supportive so that we can, at Kresge at least, our vision is to create opportunities for individuals living in low-income communities across America's cities.